Alright guys, we're at it again today, and this may be the weirdest forgotten graveyard that I've ever been in, and the camera's not going to give you a good depth perception, but that's sunk about 1.5 feet. That is a grave that is sunk. We're at a forgotten / abandoned graveyard. Right there is another sunken grave and another sunken grave, and pretty much every single grave out here has collapsed about 1.5 feet. And the reason for that is because these pretty much the coffins had expiration dates. I mean, looks like this person was buried here in 1940. His name was Thomas L. Harp. I don't know what the 536 Ingers is, unless that was an engineer. I don't know what that is, but almost every single grave out here has collapsed because this was a poor section of town and they probably just used pine boxes for coffins. So after 60, well, if he was buried in 1940, I guess that would be about 80 years, those pine boxes rotted away, which allowed for every single grave in here to collapse, which is the first time I've ever seen that. Here's one that's pretty prominent. I mean, that one sunk 2 or 3 feet. But this graveyard has been all but completely forgotten about. And it's right in the middle of an industrial park. We're on the side of Red Mountain in Alabama. The name of the mountain being red is because it was an iron ore mine. And iron ore mines produced the red color. So, not a super original name, but definitely interesting. That's got 3 leaves, guys. I just grabbed it. I bet that's poison ivy. Age 50 years, died 1911, and his headstone snapped right where his name was. I don't see the remainder of his headstone right on top of the ground to grab it, which is sad. But look at this. I mean, I've never seen so many collapsed graves. It's got to be because they were all pine boxes. Has to be. That's all I can figure. But I wanted to take just a second today. A lot of people have been like, man, why have you been in so many graveyards? First off, I'm a history buff. Y'all know that about me. But second off, you may not realize this, but did you know that graveyards directly connect with my favorite hobby, which is searching for antique bottles? And you may be saying, well, how in the world does a graveyard connect with antique bottles? And I'm going to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together. If you've been around the channel for a couple of years, you may have seen a video that I did on this a couple years ago. What I'll do is I'll drop a link above for y'all to check out if you haven't, and it's a complete tutorial on how to find a bottle dump. But today we're going to go over part of that. It's literally a minefield of sunken graves. I just wish that the camera gave better perception. Well, to get started, the reason that you start in a graveyard a lot of times to look for bottle dumps or the city dump is because the people back around the turn of the century, from about 1890 to 1920, it seems like, or at least around here, they took and put the dump and the dead in a very close location. And you may be wondering, well, that's not very respectful, or thinking to yourself, that's not very respectful to the dead. But in all honesty, it made sense to them. You got to think, they were scared of the disease that the dump would carry, also the disease that the dead carried. So, you know, around 1918, you had the Spanish flu going around. Everybody wasn't for sure what was going on with it. They didn't know a whole lot about it, so they would bury their dead further on the outskirts of town. And a lot of times that dump would be right there close to it. So I usually go get in the older graveyards, and then I kind of spiral out from the graveyards looking around for bottles or trash or remnants. It's just a very good starting point. That's a very rough headstone. It's made out of concrete though. Concrete wasn't introduced around here till the turn of the century. Looks like it says 1912 was the birth date, and it looks like the death date as well, even though that one's extremely tough to read. And there's your liquor bottle next to it. It's not an old one though. If you have never looked for a bottle dump, the place to start is close to the old graveyard. And if there is a large embankment close to the graveyard, or a creek or a river, I would say that you're probably going to be pretty close to where they threw the old trash. Now, it's not always a dead giveaway, because I dig in about 10 different dumps in my area to find the stuff that I do, and only about 3 of those dumps are close to a graveyard. But still, 3 out of 10 kind of tells you that that's a real factor into what they did back then. So I mean, if you I'd love to hear from y'all in the comments, as a matter of fact, to if you dig for bottles, how many of your dumps are close to a graveyard. I'd love to compare the stats just to know for my knowledge and for everybody else's. So y'all please chime in with that. Y'all can't tell, it's incredibly nasty out today too. We've got a lot of rain going on, and it is not making the creeks a pretty place to get into, and it's not easy to dig whenever you're in mud. I'm just not a super fan of that. That one's collapsed pretty far. I mean, y'all can see that on that one, surely. I mean, get the camera down there, give you a little bit more depth perception. There's a cement column right there. There's a piece of glass over here. I don't know how old it is. That is more modern. The old Coke. And another collapsed grave. So who knew that graves had expiration dates? I shouldn't say graves, but caskets have expiration dates. Now that's cool. The Span Am War. He was the colonel for the Alabama infantry during the Spanish-American War. That is super cool. Because y'all know that we've actually metal detected some of the Spanish-American war camps. But the headstones are few and far between out here as well. There's only 3 or 4 that stick up. There again, sunk grave, sunk grave, sunk grave, and a sunk grave. DeForest Jackson, Alabama private, U.S. Army, 1937. Here's a couple more headstones. Joe Jackson, 1895 to 1916. It's a neat old headstone. Here's another one right here. I've only seen about 5 headstones out here. Let's see what this one says. That one's 1891 to 1916. Her name was Violet Walker. Very overgrown. It makes me wonder if a lot of these guys, that one's bad sunk right there. I mean, they're just thrown in here too. I mean, because that one's, there's no rhyme to the reason to how people are buried in here, which is extremely odd. But it makes me wonder if a lot of these guys went into the war, you know, whether it was the Spanish-American War or World War I, and came out and ended up mining at the mine right here, the Red Ore mine on Red Mountain. And that's how they wound up buried here. I'm not for sure. Now I know there's several large communities close by, one of which is Bessemer. Whew. That one's pretty bad collapsed right there. You need a bobcat out here to fill all of these in. I mean, it's more work than you could do with a shovel. That one's majorly collapsed. I've never seen a graveyard in this bad of shape though, as far as collapsed areas. But in either case, guys, I won't bore you anymore, but I wanted to take a second to explain why you see me in so many graveyards and why I've started filming them. And that's usually because I'm in search of a new bottle dump. If that can benefit you, I hope that it does. I hope that you can find an awesome area like some of the places that we have, because it really does make for a fun time. It's a fun hobby to do with the family, and sometimes it can be lucrative. But in either case, guys, don't miss Friday's video. We have some amazing stuff that I find on Friday that's gonna, I think, blow y'all's mind because it blew mine. And I guess we'll catch you then.